Welcome back to Neuroconversant Leadership, where we talk about effective leadership and communication, especially in the STEM workplace. I'm Jeremy Doran, and I love helping great technical people make the transition into becoming great leaders. Today, we're going to talk about goals, not just your own goals, but understanding other people's goals. In a manufacturing company, there are a number of different divisions that all need to work together. They all have different goals. They all think differently. There may be sales, marketing, engineering, manufacturing, service. There are so many different goals. And even within the organization, there will be different individuals. And the individuals have their own goals. If someone's been in the job for, say, a year, then they may have a very different goal than someone who is starting to think about retirement. So understanding other people's goals will go a long way towards helping everybody interact as productively as possible. And if you understand the other person's goal, not just the what, but the why, it goes a long way. Very often, if you go and ask someone for help, the default answer is very often going to be no, because A, they don't fully understand the parameters. It seems too risky. They don't have a lot of time. It may not be a priority. The default answer is going to be no, but if instead of just saying no, you ask, why do you need this thing? Sometimes the answer of why they need it is going to make it important enough that you will figure out solutions to the time and the parameters. It could be that what they're asking for already exists and you don't have to create anything. You can just point them to it. And what happens that's the most exciting is sometimes when they explain why they want the thing, they don't need the thing that they're actually asking for because you have another way that will help them achieve their ultimate goal even faster. So understanding the person's goal, not just the what, but the why, goes a long way towards helping communication and helping people align their goals and be as productive as possible. Another thing that will affect people when they're making a decision or figuring out what the goal is the way they think. Some people are going to lead with thinking when they are coming to a decision about something. And some people are going to lead with feeling when they are making a decision about something. I'll give you an example. When I was taking the Myers-Briggs course, I am very much of a thinker. She put me on a team with a bunch of the most feeling people and gave us the task of, we have a sales division and we have one prize to give out, which is a trip to Disney. Who gets the prize? For me, it was obvious. Whoever had the most sales, whoever was the most productive, gets the prize. And they pushed back. They said, well, what if that person doesn't like Disney? Or what if that person doesn't have a family? Or what if someone else is having a really hard year and this would help them? And it made no sense to me. We both were so frustrated with the other that the teacher actually separated us. And what is amazing is that we both wanted the best outcome. My assumption was that the best outcome was to increase sales. And to increase sales, we would obviously reward someone who was doing the best job. Their completely understood goal was that we want to make this the best place possible to work. Both of us were trying to do what was best, but the assumption that we had behind it was affected by the way we go at solving problems. People who are thinkers tend to go for the most tangibly perfect solution. People who are feelers tend to go for the solution that helps support their values. If you are working in a team to make a decision, it's important to put the parameters up front so that everybody knows what criteria. If the people who are feelers know that some of the criteria help support their morals and their values, they will be then willing to start looking at all of the tangible things that the thinking decision makers want. The thinking people, if they know that one of the criteria is that it makes it for a good workplace or one other thing that supports the goal, once they know that is one of the criteria, they will be able to narrowly focus on that one criteria so that everyone can get to a solution that makes them happy. So if you're dealing with thinkers and feelers coming to a decision, lay out the criteria as clearly as possible up front, and then everyone can work together. If you're working on a project or developing a new product, then the goals that you need to understand are really just for that particular project. But if there are people that you work with on a regular basis, it's worth understanding their goals a little bit more in depth than that. If you have a team that you manage, understanding the goals those people have is so beneficial. If you understand what they want for their career in the long term, and if you understand their personal goals, then when you are trying to motivate them, which you can't really motivate people, the only thing you can do is put them in an environment where they motivate themselves. If you understand their bigger, longer term goals, it becomes much easier for you to put them into an environment where they're going to be able to motivate themselves. If you understand the goals that your boss has for his or her career and personal life, then all of a sudden you can align your activities to help them achieve their goals, which is going to make everyone happier. And if you're dealing with customers, understanding their goal will do two things. If you understand what their goal is, you may be able to position your product or service in a way that they find the most beneficial and are most likely to work with you. But it also may change how you develop a new product or solution. If you really understand what they're looking for and you don't have it, you can adjust what you work on so that you can come up with something that solves their goals. So when you are talking to people, whether it is just making a one-time decision as a group, whether it is having a productive cross-functional team, or whether it is working with a team that you're going to see over and over again, understanding the goals, not just the what's, but the why's, will go a long way. Thank you for listening this week. I hope you appreciate it, and I look forward to hearing your stories about any cross-functional teams you've been working on. Do me a favor, go on LinkedIn. Tell me the story, what challenges you had, as well as what solutions you used to overcome those challenges. Thanks so much for listening. Talk to you again next week. Thanks for listening. If today's conversation resonated with you, share this episode with one person on your team who might benefit from it. And if you're leading a technical team and want to explore how these communication principles could work in your organization, visit www.neuroconversantleadership.com to learn more. And there you can reach out to schedule an appointment. I'd be happy to talk through what might be going on in your world. See you next week.